All right, that didn't work out too well. So I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna cut to the chase though. Uh, I guess I have to use DuckDuckGo, but I now know what to search for because before I was searching for the wrong thing. I was looking for the North American Union maps. I don't know, not too long ago, and the words I was using was the wrong words. So I figured out what I got to do now. So, but when I go to Google Maps, Google search, it mutes me. So I'm gonna use DuckDuckGo. They're better anyways. Well, they're better in some ways because they don't violate your privacy as much as Google does. But that's the problem with Google. There are New World Order-ish, but they're convenient, So it's like I have a love-hate relationship with Google because they're communists, but they got a good product, sorta. Before I get started, I don't know if you remember Grand Central. Grand Central was a really awesome program before Google bought it. And then Google turned it into Google Voice. And they basically killed it. It sucks in comparison, let's put it that way. I didn't get Grand Central because I couldn't get it in my area, but I wanted it badly. And then Google bought them and got rid of all the cool features. And then I was like, what the fork? So now I could care less, So they really know how to kill a good product. And YouTube is another good example. I was with YouTube 5 years before Google bought them. And YouTube was great till Google bought them. And then they went downhill. So if you create a really awesome product, don't sell it to Google. They're communists. And two, they'll destroy it. And then they'll charge more for a crappier product. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, DuckDuckGo. So, DuckDuckGo. This is a test because DuckDuckGo has my mic muted. I have to actually unmute it in order to work. So, it may not have automatically muted me. Let's see. Oops, wrong word. Probably shouldn't talk while I'm in the search engine because you probably can't hear me anyway. So, now I don't know if you can hear me, but this is just giving you an idea. Now, this might be the closest to their agenda. So, the New World Order wants to break us up into unions. So, we have the North American Union, the South American Union, the European Union, the African Union, The Islamic Union, that's the other one. Australian Asian Pacific Union. But they're not saying anything about the Russian Soviet Union. So that's basically what their agenda is. We don't know exactly what's going on, but we can get a pretty clear picture. So if you can even hear me talking. So I think I tried Googling the New World Order. New. Pretty much the same thing. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. I'm uploading right now to YouTube, so my internet's a little slow right now. That wasn't what I wanted. But, alright, this gets us close enough. So you got the North American Union, the South American Union, the African Union, the Asian Union, the European Union, and the Australian Union. And then, I forgot now what the last one was. But anyways, they're trying to break it down to as few of unions as possible. And so, like right now, we have a president of the United Soviet States of America. We have a prime minister of Canada. We got a president. I don't know what the Mexicans call their president, but it's probably a president. And then eventually, they'll have one person or a group of people that are in charge of the so-called North American Union. And our so-called presidents will report to those guys, right? And those guys will report to the UN. And it already is probably that case. I haven't really kept tabs on that situation lately. I was fighting this scenario real hardcore back in 2007 along with a bunch of other people. And I kind of got away from that, and I was fighting other agendas. I've been fighting other agendas since 9/11, really. I can't say when I woke up. When I took the red pill, if you will, was probably around 9/11. My grandfather was awake. Probably both of them, for that matter. But they went about it different ways. My grandfather on my mother's side was known as a crook. And in some ways he was, because he was ripping off the government, which was a good thing because they rip us off all the time. But he was also ripping us off. So that's where my grandpa screwed up. You know, that was not my mom's dad, my dad's dad. That I screwed up. So my dad's dad was a con artist, and a fairly good one at that. So but he was always, you know, chasing get rich quick schemes, which is probably where I inherited that problem from. I don't really chase get rich quick schemes, but in a way I do, because you know, I got all these ideas and I'm trying to make them happen, and people associate me with trying to get rich quick, and maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm trying to be successful in the wrong way. I've learned that I'm not the best businessman. I need help. I'm not doing something right, you know. But I can't find decent help either. You know, all the people that I have helping me now kind of suck, except for my business partners in my IT business. But we all got burned out in the IT business, so we're just kind of hanging on by a thread. Although I am starting to get my mojo back in the IT department. I got burned out in 2017, and now, for whatever reason, I feel recharged. But I've been off grid since 2012 after my last divorce. So, not like totally off the grid, but, you know, somewhat off the grid. And so now I'm just kind of, I don't know, I feel the need to work on my IT stuff more than I have in the past 5 years. For a couple of years there, I didn't even open a laptop at all. I didn't want to open a computer. I didn't want nothing to do with it. I lost a lot of my domain names that I didn't want to lose. I had to pay extra to get them back. You know, I went in a funk. I really did. I was in a major funk. But anyways, so those two business partners are great. I mean, one's a liberal and the other's a conservative. And I say liberal loosely. I think he wants to be a liberal, so he believes a lot of the lies because he wants to believe in a certain narrative that the communists are playing on. You know, it's like they pull at your heartstrings and whatnot so they can compel you to do what you think is the right thing, but they have a secret agenda behind it. And so they brainwash their own people into thinking that they're doing a good thing when they're not, right? So the Liberal Party is no longer liberal, it's communist. But a lot of the liberal people haven't got that. And that's why there's a hashtag walk away party, if you will, which basically went more conservative. So now you just have, conservatives and liberal conservatives, which I used to be a liberal, I think. And now I identify as a liberal conservative because I'm more conservative than these communist socialist people. So, anyway, getting off track. And I lost my train of thought. I tend to go down rabbit trails and rabbit holes. So, getting back on track. The media has been talking about how Putin's not acting normal. You know, he's acting weird or crazy or out of the ordinary. And what it boils down to is I think Putin's just following orders. He's just a puppet. He's for the New World Order, just like our communist leaders here in the United Soviet States of America. And other people in other countries are for this New World Order. And They call people like me conspiracy theorists. But the things that we were predicting, 10, 20, 15 years ago are coming true. 9/11 is when I really started waking up. um, oh, yeah, talking about my grandparents. So, my grandparents were both in the military. Grandfathers were both in the military. My dad's dad was kind of a crook, con man. Um, he scammed the government and almost pretty much got away with it. And for the longest time, I saw him as a bad guy because that's the way my family saw him. But now I see him in a different light, kind of more neutral. Yeah, he was a bad guy for taking advantage of his family, but not a bad guy for trying to steal from the government because, if you try to steal from a criminal, does that make you a criminal? So, yeah, I know where I was going with what I was going with. So, get rich quick schemes and stuff like that, basically, I got a lot of ideas. I'm an idea person. I try to make them all happen. When I was growing up, I had a bunch of good ideas, and my dad thought they were stupid ideas. And then later, people made millions off of them. So I had this thing where I was like, well, forget this. I'm not going to let any of my ideas go to waste. And so I've been trying to make all my ideas happen, and I've been broke ever since. And that's why people think I'm chasing get rich quick schemes. And it's not so much that, it's just I got too many irons in the fire, and I got to focus. Or I need help, and I can't find reliable help. So I'm on my own for the most part, except for my IT partners. So that's where I was going with that. My other grandfather, he was somebody to look up to. He was somebody to admire. And he was awake. And he never really talked to me growing up about being awake. Because I guess he thought I was too young to understand. But, or too immature, who knows. And, but he would always say little things, like basically stealing your money back from the government. He said that all the time, and he called them criminals. And, well, I was going to join the military. My brother was going to join the military. I don't remember exactly why my brother didn't go into the military, but I was suicidal when I was a kid. So they wouldn't take me because I was crazy. No, they was worried about my suicidal tendencies. And thank God I got over that. But but the good part about that is I'm not afraid to die. So if I need to die from my country, die from my people, I'm not afraid to. I'm ready to go. I'm not going to kill myself for no reason. But not, like before. But when I was younger, I had less control over my life, where now I have more control. And so now if I die, I'm going to, if I don't die of old age, I'm going to die for a reason. And it's going to be for probably fighting for freedom and liberty. But, okay, they're unloading me. I'm a truck driver too, by the way. So, my grandfather was awake. Probably both of them, for that matter. But they didn't really talk about it, not at least to me. And but my grandpa on my mom's side, he used to say little things, drop hints and whatnot. So when I couldn't join the military, I was going to join the militia. And my grandfather talked me out of it. He says, you don't want to do that. You don't want to paint a target on your back. And I didn't know what he was talking about. But I listened. I didn't join the militia. Now I understand why. I figured that out a few years ago. Well, more than a couple. A few years ago, I figured that one out. why he said that, but it always stayed with me. Why did he say I would paint a target on my back? And so then 9/11 came. Not long after that, I married into the military. And so I was waking up about that time. 9/11 happened, and I was conflicted, because at first I thought these people attacked us, and I believed the narrative, the lie. But I was looking at all the evidence, and I was like, wait a minute. Something doesn't look right. Something doesn't add up. And I just kept looking and looking and digging and digging. And the evidence pointed to something different than what our government was telling us. But I couldn't wrap my head around why the government was lying about what happened. Why would they lie? Why would they say it happened this way when it really happened this way? And but I still couldn't fathom our own government killing our own people at that time. Now I realize that we're not their people, if that makes any sense. So I ended up marrying into the military after that, and that was my second wife. And I got to know and understand more on a different level, and made a lot of friends. And I still have a lot of military friends to this day. So I know a little bit more of what's going on both sides of the fence. And I'm not allowed to talk about some of it, but, it affirms a lot of the things that I've learned over the years and what I believe. So, we do have some brainwashed military, and we do have some military that's on our side. So, it's kind of 50-50. But maybe more than that, but you know what I mean. It's like you don't know who you can trust. So just be careful. And never give up your Second Amendment rights. Never. So, anyhow, I started waking up. And so in 2017-ish, I learned about this North American Union. And not long after that, I ran into Lenny Ladner, who was running for Senate and then running for Congress. And he opened my eyes a lot too, him and Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith has an audio. I guess it was originally a video, but I've never been able to find the video. But I have the audio. It's called Soviet Rule. And there's a part 1 and part 2. You need to listen to that. You can find it at scrapgovscrap.com. And then click on videos. And it's a black video, it's basically just audio, but I turned it into a video, but there's no actual pictures or anything. It's just pure black screen. And I got some other Charlie Smith videos. I don't know if I have them on Scrap Gov Scrap or not. And then we have Pretty Neat Trick, which kind of sums up a lot of things. And you need to watch that one too. It's more of an audio. But I put together a cool video. Now, I haven't done cool videos in a while. I'm just doing, fly by the seat of my pants videos now. But basically, there's a couple few things going on. The agenda. Hang on, I gotta change my logbook to on duty. Unload. All right, and then when they're done, I'll edit that to the proper amount of time that I have to edit it to. But anyhow, okay. So couple few things going on. One that I learned from Lenny and Charlie Smith was they create, and Dick Fatherly, and that's basically what the premise of the Pretty Neat Trick video is all about. One, you create a problem, or the video doesn't talk about this, but never let a good crisis go to waste, right? So you take a current problem or so-called problem, or you make a problem, and then you advocate solutions for that problem. But you advocate solutions that have problems. Therefore, you can advocate more solutions for said problem, which puts more and more money and power into your hands. The medical industry does this too. For example, we've been doing natural medicine for thousands of years. And then 100 years ago, the oil gurus, the Rockefellers and whatnot, infiltrated the medical industry and started petroleum-based medicine. And now that's supposedly the gold standard today. And now, if you don't believe in this petroleum-based medicine, you're a quack. You're a Nazi terrorist. You're spreading misinformation, blah, blah, blah. It's all a communist narrative. Natural medicine is God's medicine. God put all these things on this planet for us to utilize. He didn't want us popping pills and injecting petroleum-based medicine in our bodies. Petroleum is for vehicles, not for, and for machinery, not for people, not for animals, and it's off track, but, they say there's no cure for endometriosis, but if you go to a veterinarian and ask them how to fix endometriosis in a cow, they can tell you how, and the solution is the same for people. So, but they say there's no cure. Now, if they gave the pharmaceutical remedy to cattle for endometriosis, or, the U.S., or not U.S., the human standard, beef would cost way too much, and cows would end up probably dying. Who knows? But basically, it would destroy the beef industry. So they can't do that. So really, if you want to know how to fix something, you should probably go talk to a veterinarian instead of a doctor. But anyhow, which, goes to talking about other things we're not allowed to talk about. Otherwise, I'll get censored and red flagged, and they'll shut my Communist Tube will shut down my account. So, I'm on the brink of getting shut down anyways. I need to set up a Rumble account, but and my video, for some reason I can't upload videos anymore to my Scrap